Ladies and gentlemen, thank you wherever you are at in the world at this time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and thank you for being with us today. We have a person here who has been a part of co-ops and individual promotion of people and organizations and a champion for communities near and far. We would like to introduce you, if you don't already know, this is Sarah. Everybody give a round of applause, Sarah. Yay! Clap, 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 clap.
Greetings.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a serious issue that's at hand, especially with the world, with the way the world is going right now. Some people are looking to get involved in their own individual pursuits of happiness, and that sometimes comes through work. And we have a person here who champions a co-op workers effort, and a cooperative workers effort will be explained by Sarah, and then she'll tell you a little bit more what is going on and how you guys can get involved. So, Sarah, let the people know what is a co-op and what this cooperative effort that you're trying to do is all about.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Cedric, for having me on your show. Um, I'm coming here from the Coalition for Worker Ownership and Power, called COWOP for short, COOP with a W for worker. Um, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty concerned about authoritarianism these days and oligarchy. And, you know, we have a situation where billionaire take all capitalism is kind of running our country. And we have an alternative as well. And the alternative is cooperation. So I am a part of a coalition of worker owned businesses that do business differently. In worker owned cooperatives, workers share decisions together. They share power and they share benefits. And that's why co ops are special. Workplaces come alive and communities thrive when workers have a say at work and a piece of the profits they help generate. And so we want to see the cooperative ecosystem rise. And Massachusetts is number 3 in the country for employee ownership. If you talk about ESOPs and co-ops together, ESOPs are companies where workers have shares in the company. So if the company makes money and the shareholders make money, the workers do too. And so that's a way to share the wealth with the owners of capital and the people who add wealth with their labor. So that's what an ESOP is. But a worker-owned co-op goes a little bit farther because worker-owned co-ops also have governance. Some ESOPs do, but some don't. So we're really excited about business models where workers share power, share decision making about their work, and about and also share the profits that they help to generate. And that's why we love co-ops. Right now, we have a policy platform that helps the cooperative ecosystem to grow in Massachusetts. And so we know that it's really important that cooperative businesses have technical assistance like other types of businesses and institutional support. So Massachusetts is one of a handful of states in the country that has a state office for employee ownership. We call it Mass CEO. In a co-op, we can all be CEOs together.
Right.
So talks about like that dream of owning your own business. In a co-op, you collectively own that business and you collectively steer that business, and that allows us to share benefits, share risks, and shape our workplace and our community together. So it's kind of a commons. So I really love worker co-ops for that reason. I really do feel that the future is cooperative, and when we can share decisions and benefits, we have good outcomes.
So, what is the challenge with that? It sounds so wonderful. Why is there a pushback? Is there a pushback? What is going on? Why you are going run to the state house to make sure these legislations get passed, that they have the support they need? What is the pushback from it? And give us the pro of it.
Great question. So one of the big challenges is awareness. So we thank you so much for having us and our issues on your show. More people need to know that cooperation is tried and true, and it's in our community. And you can shop at a co-op in your community. We have co-ops in Worcester, Massachusetts, for example, making amazing swag like T-shirts and mugs and things like that. We have co-ops near me. I'm on the board of the Dorchester Food Co-op, and we make accessible food. You should come through. It's a really beautiful place. We have co-ops that are doing trash hauling. We have co-ops that are doing printing. A lot of different industries across the state, co-ops are there. And so one of the issues that's holding us back is knowing where the co-ops are. If you want to learn more about co-ops, you can check out our website, www.cooperativema.org. And there you can find a list of the co-ops in our state. And it's a growing list. Last week, I talked to a cooperator with South Mountain. It's a design and build company that's a worker-owned co-op on the Cape, and it was founded in the 70s. And back when it was founded, there were only 15 worker-owned co-ops in the country, in the United States. And now in Massachusetts, we have counted 71 on our list. So little by slow, we're growing. And we want to see more people access dignified work through worker ownership. And so, as I mentioned, technical assistance, awareness, grants and loan guarantees to worker-owned businesses are really key. So funding is a constraint, but it's also an opportunity, and we really need the state's support to get funding to worker-owned businesses. One opportunity to grow the sector we see is conversions. So I don't know if you've heard about, some people are calling the silver tsunami. We have a lot of boomer generation business owners that are retiring and looking to sell their business. And when they put their business on the market, only about 80% of those businesses never sell. And so we want those business owners to be able to retire in dignity and have a good person to carry on their legacy or team of people. And so we have a new bill we're calling Opportunity to Own. And the beautiful aspect of this bill is that it would increase the pool of possible buyers by having business owners inform their workers that they're selling so that the workers can come together and think, do we want to put in a bid so that we can continue this business collectively as a co-op? And so, yeah, one aspect of this opportunity to own bill, which is formerly known as an act to preserve entrepreneurship and local owned business through employee ownership. Um, so,
How can we
yeah,
help?
it involve informing workers about the sale, and it would also involve a tax break to encourage the seller to go with workers because they might have several bids, and a little tax break on the first 1 million of capital gains tax um, would be offered as an incentive to go with workers who make a bid to cooperatively carry on a business that goes up for sale.
Now,
So
this push that you have going on, how can the people that are listening, watching, wherever they're at, support what you're doing, even if they're
thank
not
you
in
for
your?
asking. Thank you for asking. Now is the time to act. So we are asking for sign-ons to this bill. It would be really wonderful if everybody watching the show could pick up the phone and talk to their legislators, their state reps, and their state senators, and ask them to sign on. So in the Senate, this bill is S503, and in the House, it's H305. S503 and H305, the opposite letters for each. Um, yeah, we're looking for sign-ons from our state legislators, and every person who signs on really helps. It shows that we believe cooperation is important, and we want to see a cooperative economy grow. We want to preserve our local ownership of businesses, and we want to provide incentives for worker-owned businesses in our state. So we're really looking for sign-ons. Thank you, everybody, for calling your representative and your senator and signing on to this act to preserve entrepreneurship and local ownership through employee ownership.
And an important thing, especially for people that are into that entrepreneurial spirit, but may not have all of the resources they have. Going as connecting with a co-op can maybe help you with your books or something. You might be able to pay rent in one place and be able to do at a fair, a fair price for rent to get into a space. That might be your thing to have a need for to get your business going. So Sarah's talking about
Absolutely.
connecting you with these types of, entities to build up. Sometimes your might be your back door, your back behind the scenes stuff, or you might need somebody as a social media person or whatever is the need. This co-op, the co-ops are there for that, the same as they would be for any private sector or capitalistic organization as a hierarchy from the top down, not more of a circular uh, cooperative spirit and governing with your business. Now, for you, what is an example of a co-op that you want to champion besides your own? I know you got a great co-op, and Dorchester Food is great. Blah blah blah. Is there anything else in the world that you may want to say and give a champion shout out to that people can look at and research?
Well, once again, I know that you have roots in the Worcester community, and so Works Union Printing Co-op is a beautiful example of a co-op. They are doing the printing for a lot of political campaigns, and they're a union shop, and so that shows their dignity to high quality work, and they honor that across the supply chain. So they really source their inputs from places where people treat workers right. Um, they're also, on our steering committee and helping us to grow the cooperative movement. One thing to know: if you check out the MassCO website, there's going to be the MassCO office is coming to Worcester to talk about the promise of employee ownership and worker ownership this month, and I think Works probably will be featured there. Um, Other worker co-ops that I love, there's many. I'm working a lot with somebody who's been involved in Pedal People. Ethan Tupelo is now on the ad board of Mass CEO,
Okay.
and he's also a member of the Valley Alliance of Worker Co-ops. So in Western Mass and also a little bit into Vermont, there's this network of cooperatives that has their own revolving loan fund, and they provide technical assistance to one another. There's cafes, cooperative cafes, and design and build, like Oxbow Design and Build is part of the network, and these are co-ops that are like building wealth and investing in one another and advising one another in their business development, and it's really becoming a cooperative ecosystem. They're building an independent cooperative economy that is, anybody can shop at these co-ops and benefit from their services, but
Right.
they're all doing business in a slightly different way that's more accountable to the community, more accountable to the workers, and it's really beautiful. Another co-op I really love is a Garrick worker co-op. So they make, in this time when some of us are a little bit concerned about cybersecurity and such, we use their video conferencing platform
Okay.
because it's got some internet security and it's made by Black cooperative entrepreneurs in Boston, and that's fantastic.
Wow.
Um,
Wonderful.
yeah,
And
cooperating
I
doing
get this, since we're
everything.
talking about this awareness thing too. How many people get the chance to get promoted this way? Where, what is some of the things that you think we can do to promote? Like not just calling the legislators, but is there some place you named some in Worcester that we can actually purchase things from? Um, you mentioned something with loans. Is there anything like a bank that we should be putting our money into so that way they can help and use that capital to support, what the co-ops are doing?
I love that you ask that. Um, you can actually invest in the cooperative fund of the Northeast if they're looking for investors, and you would agree to a sort of reasonable rate of return because we want cooperative entrepreneurs to have the space to be able to invest. And I'm really happy that this particular institution has chosen to make more patient capital available and to trust early stage entrepreneurs in a way that they didn't before. When I was in Worcester with Empower Energy Cooperative, that Epoca developed, doing biodiesel fuel and creating dignified work for folks with past criminal records.
Yeah.
We had a really hard time finding TA, as you know, and finding funding, and even organizations like that wouldn't give us any funding. What's new now, like 15 years later, is that it is actually possible for a startup co-op to get a fiscal sponsor, to be able to get some grants, which is really important for people who are not starting in wealth, to be able to access grant money for their, towards their enterprise, which is not possible if you're just a for-profit business. So that's something that people should know about. Um, and yeah, organizations like CFNE are starting to make sure that that funding is available. So one of the things on our policy platform is actually for a revolving loan fund to help workers have capital in their business. Because one important part of worker-owned businesses is that workers invest. Every worker has an equal share and an equal vote. So that's a constraint, but it's an opportunity. And so we're looking for state money to help with that. Um, yeah, our coalition at this time is looking to see how we can also encourage people to contribute to the cause. Um, in our in our in our awareness, we're trying to raise some money and do some regranting to our members because we know that capital is a huge constraint. But it would be great to see more cooperative banking rise. Credit unions are actually technically cooperatives. They're member run. They're not worker co-ops, but they're
Right.
run by their members, and they tend to have better terms for their members. Very member oriented institutions. So it'd be really great to see the worker co-op movement align a little bit more with credit unions, and for us to build more institutions like that really answer to us and work for us. We know that some of the more corporate banks have their own interests in mind and often don't do the best for us, but
Right.
we can create institutions that are owned by us and accountable to us, and that's what we want to see across the board.
Wow. This is a very interesting conversation. I hope the people in the world, wherever they're at, gets the opportunity to share and be a part of what a co-op experience is. One of the things we would like to know before we let you go is how can people get in touch? What are the social media handles? What are all of those things that people need to know to actually touch base with and engage with this co-op experience and help with the support of the bill?
If you're in Massachusetts, hashtag cooperative MA. And so you can see a lot of different things related to our policy campaigns and also our shop co-op campaign. You should check out the Greater Boston Chamber of Co-ops. They have a holiday gift guide where you can see
I
some
mean,
featured products.
I gotta say that again. The Boston Rates Chamber of Commerce for co-ops,
The Greater Boston Chamber of Co-ops,
and this like they
GBCC.
transplanted down to Worcester, huh? 90 fruit. They just can't think it. That was too far away. Oh, my bad. All right,
Well,
continue
that's
on.
political, where Greater Boston begins and ends. Our coalition is statewide, so we've actually partnered with the Greater Boston Chamber to try and feature co-ops across the state, and so they are actually beginning to list more of us. So you can still check out that website; it still will be relevant. There might be a way that we can they have Shop Co-op MA and they have Shop Co-op Boston as the hashtags for that. So it's starting up. Maybe you can help us get some energy in those hashtags
All
and
right,
that,
we need to
that
start that. Get
awareness.
that
Thank
energy
you.
going, ladies and gentlemen, out there watching Sarah talk to you about these co-ops. Um, we want to end this with some energy that will put people and get them engaged. So you give them some energy that will get them engaged in how they could get acquire a co-op, be a part of a co-op, invest in a co-op. Give them some of that energy that will spur them to do that.
Check out Cooperative MA, hashtag Cooperative MA. You're most welcome to join the Co-op Coalition mailing list if you wish. You can check out www.cooperativema.org and sign up to get news. Or you can go on there. If you go to the Learn More tab, you can see a whole database of co-ops in the state and technical assistance providers and funders. So that's a really good resource. And we have friends at the Building Solidarity Economies Institute at UMass Amherst who are helping us to update this and keep it relevant. So it's freshly updated and there's good resources in there. There's a lot of technical assistance out there. There is funding out there, and there's people who know the networks. And so cooperativema.org can be helpful. Happy to connect more. Hashtag cooperative MA, and you'll see some stuff about our campaign. We invite people to advocate with us. Please call your reps. Please call your senators for opportunity to own. Ownership changes the game, and
Yeah.
collective ownership is the answer. I believe that the future is cooperative and the future is shared. We can make decisions together. We can share benefits together, and usually decisions are better. And our communities are beautiful when we're sharing benefits together. So let's build a cooperative future together. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you. And you ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. We out of here. Have a good day.
All right.